Hello, everybody. Welcome back. I'm Billy,
I'm Eddie.
and we are
The
Trick or Treaters. And today we went to see a movie by Finn Wolfhard. He plays Mike in Stranger Things. He was also in the Ghostbusters films.
Yep.
Uh,
And Afterlife and Frozen
yes,
Empire.
hell of a summer. It was made for $3 million. It's a slasher. Uh, we have a kid, Jason, 24 years old, going back to summer camp. And his mom's trying to convince him to go back to law school.
Yep.
And she's like, "You're an adult." He goes, "Well, I'm getting paid." And I think what was it? They upped him to 115 a week.
A week.
Yes. A week to be a camp counselor. So
it was 100.
But he's been going there for how many years did it say? Like eight, five, a long time.
It's a number of years, yeah.
But he's a counselor, and he's excited because the people who own the place asked him to come back for his help because he wasn't going to go back. And a lot of shit goes down. I'm trying not to spoil it too much, so you can jump in here anytime you want.
See, we just got back from going to Edwardsville, nearest AMC theater. So this is an out of the theater review.
Yeah, this is our first out of theater review.
Yeah, fun little movie. I'll admit, going up with the likes of Friday the 13th and Scream and all those slasher genres, a little predictable. At least the first couple kills, but there were some different ones, and there were
You called quite a few.
twists, turns. Cause
You called one of the kills.
yeah,
Like right away.
right away. I'm like, classic. Okay, go get to the car. Lights come up. Nothing. I'm like, backseat.
Always check your back seat. The counselors was interesting. You know, like this group of kids that are coming.
Yeah, they weren't just. I mean, you get taking Friday the 13th, for example. A lot of the counselors there in those movies, they're just there to be killed off. Some of the ones in this one, hell of a summer, they were actually fairly likable characters.
I would say my favorite characters.
They weren't there just to be fodder for the
Slasher. Yeah, they actually gave them a little bit of depth, and I really liked Jason, of course.
Yeah.
And I liked.
I know you said you like Noelle, who's like a goth.
Oh, she's so cool. Noelle's so cool.
And no, she's not played by Jenna Ortega.
No, she was awesome. Yeah, I like her too.
Long-time viewers watch and will understand.
I don't know what you're talking about. Who is this Jenna Ortega?
You're full of crap.
There was another really cool character. What was her name? The other chick. See, the characters, there's so many names.
You're talking Claire?
Claire.
No.
Claire was really cool. Yeah. One of the campers.
Yeah.
Or one of the new counselors.
One of the counselors.
Because the campers haven't arrived yet. They've given us the premise.
It's a counselor weekend. It's, I guess, the weekend before camp opens up, so the counselors are there getting it already.
And they're told, hey, don't party, don't do drugs. So what do? They party and they do drugs.
Look, anyone that's seen Scream knows that is the quickest way to die.
Yes. And we'll get into more of that later. But you're right. They don't give you just fodder to round out the cast. They actually give you different traits. Like you can tell the characters are all different. And it's implied they have different backgrounds.
Right. You've seen Cabin in the Woods, right?
Yes, love that movie.
The tropes that they target for the ritual in that movie.
Yes.
I was expecting to be able to sit in the theater and just be like, okay, well, there's the stoner, there's the dumb blonde. And I wasn't able to.
I'm glad.
And I was glad because it wasn't predictable. It's like, okay.
They had different types of characters that we haven't seen as much. Like Noelle reminds me of Lydia in some ways. But with the different things going on there. So I really liked her.
Ouija board.
I really liked her Ouija board. We'll try not to spoil too much, but if you have not seen the movie yet, probably turn this off and come back later. Yeah. Because we are going to spoil a little bit just because when we review movies, that's the only way for us to really be able to get into depth a little bit. But yeah, Noelle reminded me of Lydia. And like you said, the Ouija board and stuff, that's totally Lydia move. You had I'm So Pretty characters. You had Finn Wolfhard character. I forget his name. Finn Wolfhard, his character.
He was the main character, right?
No. Jason.
No.
He drove the red car.
Pull up the cast list.
Yeah, he drove the red car. It was his stepdad's.
When you've only seen the movie once or twice, you don't always remember characters' names like you do with other movies.
So I'm gonna pull that up while you talk here. So Hell of a Summer.
It was enjoyable. Like Billy said, it was only made for like $3 million. So that's relatively small when it comes to film budgets.
Horror typically has cheaper.
For a while there, I wanted to become a filmmaker.
Finn Wolfhard was Chris.
I wanted to be a filmmaker.
Really?
I still do.
Well, you're gonna get a chance. Have you ever filmed with a camera?
I've done pictures and little short things, but nothing major.
All right, we'll talk off camera.
And my dad once told me one of the easiest genres to do because it can be done cheap is horror.
Horror and comedy.
And there's a fine line between the two.
And you can do a horror comedy.
Exactly.
Like this had some humor in it.
Oh yeah.
I love the lines of like shut the fuck up because cussing. But yeah, there's a lot of cussing.
Oh god.
But it's not over the top to where they're doing it so much to where it actually annoys you. It's more of just like naturally how you would react to the situation.
Exactly.
So I liked that. They didn't overdo the cussing to be cool. They did the cussing where it would be coming out naturally from the characters. So that was well done.
It was a good movie. And as we said, there's going to be spoilers. The twist.
There were twists. Without giving it away, let's not give all of it away. We'll try not to. There are some twists I did not see coming. Because we were sitting. There was one other person there. Otherwise,
it was us and one other person.
He was sitting a few rows up. But him and I were talking, and I kept trying to guess who the killer was. I couldn't because of certain twists. But there were people who I thought, and there were people who I'm like, oh, they better not kill them. And I wasn't pissed that they did. It's one of those things. I really like certain characters, and I really liked the way they were.
Before the movie started up too much, I even asked Billy, I'm like, so do you think it's going to be one of them? Or do you think they're going to pull a Friday the 13th and introduce the killer in the last 10 minutes?
I was actually hoping, because it was showing pictures of like former winners, I was hoping it was going to be like a previous camper that was mistreated. That's kind of what I was thinking, like someone from the 90s.
Yeah.
Like an older adult that ends up knowing everybody. But then they knew certain things about each person, so then it was like, oh, it has to be someone that's currently there because they're the only ones that have heard the stories, knowing about certain characters and stuff. So I liked that it was one of them, and I liked the way they did it because, like you said, it wasn't as predictable. They actually did make you have to sit there and think for a minute.
It was a fun movie, but also it didn't make you think too much.
And Jason's character was really cool. I like him a lot. He was in Fear Street. If you guys remember, he played Simon. He played the drug. He was trying to sell drugs. So he has this natural ability to play awkward, but still be someone you want to laugh with because he's cool. He has a coolness factor to him, that actor. I forget his name. But Simon from Fear Street, I thought he did a great job with that character. And it wasn't filmed, like I was worried. Sometimes low budgets, you can get kind of dizzy from it being filmed weird. It was filmed okay. I'm not saying it's going to blow you away, guys. I'm not going to say it knocks it out of the park and it's like on the same level as like a I'm trying to think of a really good horror film. It's not going to be on the same level as the original Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh no.
Nothing like that. But for what it's going for, like a campy slasher film, it does a good job. So I would say check it out and give it your own thoughts. Who would enjoy this? Who is this movie for? Who do you think would enjoy this?
Well, who it's for? Audience in general, but I particularly enjoyed it because of my love for the 80s slasher. Well, the slasher genre in general, not just the 80s, but the summer camp vibe and all that. And they did nail it. It was like, okay, cool.
What I've learned is don't go to summer camp.
Yeah.
Because every time I went to a camp one time, and the whole time I'm like, this was before I got into slashers, but part of me knew, like, don't go. Fear Street 1976. Camp Crystal Lake. I mean, there's so many camps where people end up dead. It's kind of like, duh, don't go to
Sleepaway Camp.
And it should have been a red flag with certain things at the beginning. That it's kind of like, something seems off here. And you got that feeling when the counselors arrived that something was off based on.
I mean, you go in, you know it's a slasher.
Yeah.
You knew it was a slasher going in.
But it was a smart slasher. The killers were
Agreed.
actually kind of smart.
They were.
Have you ever had see after you killed somebody? That was
It's gotta be one of the greatest lines in the movie.
Yeah, it was. What was the line? How did he word it exactly?
Have you? Do you realize how good pussy is after you killed someone?
That should be on a T-shirt for like slasher fans. Guys, it's a fun film. It's only an hour and 28 minutes. It doesn't overstay its welcome by making it too long of a runtime. I did appreciate that.
That is good, and that's the problem with a lot of movies nowadays. They go for a longer runtime, especially Marvel.
That film that we saw today,
But
hour 28 feels about right for
the
it.
slasher genre in general, especially. Sorry. Especially like the Friday the 13th, because that's the big name when it came to summer camp slashers. About an hour and a half is about average for one of those because you don't need a long runtime.
I would say hour and a half to 2 hours is where I would put slasher. Like Fear Street's
2 hours
about
maybe.
2.
2 hours maybe pushing it depending on the story.
Right, but like Fear Street had a lot of story to tell, so they went like an hour 15.
The Fear
to 2
Street,
hours.
it actually has a story. It's not just, oh, we're gonna kill off a bunch of horny fiends.
Right.
So in that case, yes, the 2 hours is.
It depends.
But
I'm willing to sit through 2-hour horror film if it's good.
Now horror in general,
Slasher
yeah.
horror, yeah.
It's the slasher subgenre that is better, roughly about an hour and a half because of what it is.
I would say it wrapped up perfectly. If it
It
would have went another half hour, it might have been overdoing it.
Half hour may have been stretching.
If you would have done another 10 minutes, okay, it's not good. But the way they wrapped it up was perfect.
I wouldn't mind another 10 minutes and maybe some character building.
That's exactly. It does feel.
More, it's like, okay,
we talked about this. It does feel a little rushed, other than with your main character, Jason. You don't really get. I wanted to know more about Claire because
that's what I was saying. It's like, well, these guys definitely know each other,
right? So they don't need it for us. We as an audience do not need more backstory, but I'm curious as to what she thought of Jason a couple of years before, at the time she knew him, the friendship bracelet, getting into more of that. Like, did she always have a crush on him? Was it just as friends? Like, kind of that. But that's more, you can kind of, the fun of it is you can kind of make up your own story. I do like that about it. The characters were unique. The kills, they don't show a lot of them, which actually I was okay with. Because at first I was kind of like, man, they're not showing much. But then I'm kind of glad they didn't.
I mean, that's not the first time I've seen that. Take the original Friday the 13th, that was done low budget. The filmmakers of that have even said, hey, Halloween's making a bunch of money, let's rip it off. So it was designed to be cheap. So hiding the actual impacts, it was a way to save money.
Right.
And in some cases, it works.
And this was made for $3 million.
Yeah.
And I would say a lot of it probably went to. There were some effects, and you got to pay your actors and everything. And they filmed out in the woods. They probably had to bring a bunch of stuff in.
Yeah.
So yeah, I could see that being a $3 million movie. I'm glad though they didn't try to make like $50 million and try to make money back on this, because this is one of those films that it's going to be more for your slasher fans, and it's going to appeal to a niche audience. It's going to be one of those that people like me and you will want to own it, but I feel like there's only going to be certain people that actually buy it. There's going to be people that stream it out of curiosity, but to buy it, that's more of our alley. Yeah. I like comedy slashers. I like comedy in my horror. I don't like just straight horror. So this is my type of movie.
You find a good straight horror.
Other recommendations based off of this, you haven't seen it yet, but Hard Eyes. We will be watching that at some point because I plan on buying it. Hard Eyes, where the producers Scream. We saw a trailer today for Clown in the Cornfield.
That looks great.
And it looks great. So you are going to see previews if you're going to AMC. You will see previews for other movies. There was one about the date, where the girl goes on the date and the top floor.
It's called Drop.
Drop looks really good.
They were in this basic just trailer. Someone was airdropping this stuff. Well, and the way I was seeing, because we've only seen the trailer right now, there has to be an accomplice.
Someone is recording this girl's babysitter and kid, and they ask her to kill her date.
And they're also dropping her stuff.
Yeah.
So the only way that would work, unless they got a way to extend the drop radius, is someone else is filming, or they've already got the videos somehow. They're forwarding them to someone in the restaurant.
I think there's two people involved.
There's gotta be.
One person's in the restaurant, one person's at the house.
Yep.
So it's going to be two people. It looks good. And then the other one looked really good. It wasn't horror, but it's called The Amateur.
Yes.
And that one looks really good. Basically, this man's wife is killed, and he wants to get back at everyone that was involved.
Uh-huh.
And they say, oh, you couldn't beat a 90-year-old in an arm wrestling match.
Yeah.
But, so back to what we were talking about. The guy that plays our main Jason, he's really cool. I really like the way he plays awkward. It comes across, like, he can play awkward, and you're like, man, this guy's cringy, but in kind of a fun way. And the girl that played Claire did a good job. And then you had Finn Wolfhard's character. He was likable enough. You know what I mean? Like he wasn't my favorite, but I didn't hate him. I thought he was a cool dude.
I mean, you didn't have none of the characters.
Shannon was okay.
I mean, none of them were complete assholes.
I like that. He goes, no, my friend's not an asshole. He just looks and acts like one. That was a good line. And then my favorite character, though, was definitely Noelle, the dark character, because I just love that sort of character.
Because, yes, I mean, you're going to get unlikable people, teenagers, young adults, pretty much everywhere. But none of these characters were extremely unlikable, where you're, like, hoping for them to get an extremely gruesome death.
No, there was one there were a couple where I'm like, okay, if they die, they die. If it saves the main people I want to live, I'm cool with it. Like if they would have traded Noelle with one of the other characters, I'd been okay. But yeah,
there's other movies I've seen where it's like, you need to die.
And maybe it's a good thing they didn't overdevelop the characters too, because you don't want it, like it's just a one-off slasher film for now. If it does well, I don't see how they would do a sequel. Unless dumbass, decides to do what they said they were gonna do.
Yeah.
And it wasn't really a joke. Because we like to talk about at the end, how would they do a sequel, like those kind of things. Because there are some films when they end, you actually do want a sequel. You're like, 3 years down the road, if they make a sequel, I'd like to see it.
I don't think, and now using that, bouncing off that 3 years, it doesn't have to be rushed. If they do a sequel, they do a sequel. If not, it works on its own as standalone. But if they do a sequel, it doesn't need to be rushed just for the money.
That's exactly it, because this is a low-budget film, so they can take their time on it. I think this is going to be a cult following. I'm not saying it's going to be a cult classic. It might not be at that level, but it might be.
But it's going to have that following, yeah.
Me and you are going to talk about this movie probably down the road. I haven't seen the film. Let's watch it.
I don't know the
Then we end up watching it. There's a little delay sometimes. It's fine.
All right, I'm like sorry about that. The video like froze.
We thought we ate maybe a gummy on accident without realizing it. But no, when I have friends come over, they'll look at my shelf and go, "Oh, I've never seen this movie. Let's watch it." So I like doing that.
I mean, we both have that. I mean, you've experienced that here with my collection.
Oh yeah, I'll walk around and look and see. But
I also get the. How did you get your hands on that one?
I'm glad they did.
Lucky and I found it in secondhand.
There you go. I like that they did some of it in the daytime, some of it at night. It wasn't all done at night. It wasn't all done at day. It was a little bit of both. And I even said one thing in horror films is bunker down and wait for the sun to come up, because then you can see the killer easier. So that's one of those things too. And we're gonna do other videos of horror and get into some of the tropes and slashers and stuff. But I would say for me, this isn't a film I would watch nonstop.
No.
It's one of those films I might throw it on once a year, not even at Halloween time, when I want my summer slashers. Like this would be a good summer slasher. It's called Hell of a Summer.
As I told Billy as we were walking out of the theater, I'm like, DVD buy. I don't see myself spending the little extra to get it on Blu-ray.
If it comes out on Blu-ray, a lot of these films only come out on DVD.
Good point.
So, or they only get to the highest level is Blu-ray. So if it's like $2-3 more, I'll go ahead and get the Blu-ray of it, because I want the picture quality and the bonus features.
Yeah, no, the one's on the disc. There's actually bonus features on the Blu-ray that are on the DVD. Sure.
Yeah, but yeah, this is one of those films.
But the movie on its own, and there are movies that they, even with the Blu-rays, you're not getting bonus features or anything.
You're just getting the picture quality.
picture quality, I'm not too impressed with. I mean, some of them it looks really nice. I can see this one just doing a basic Blu-ray, maybe upscale a
Yeah,
little
because like
bit.
Abigail did. If they come out and say we're only doing Blu-ray for this, nothing else, okay, I'll buy it.
Yeah.
It's one of those films I'll spend 20 on it.
Well, I mean, that's even if it gets a DVD release, because I mean they could just start phasing DVDs out.
Yeah, they're saying that, if I remember right,
With 4K now,
4K is the least spot still. If I remember right, DVDs may still be one of the higher spot in Blu-rays because a lot of people don't have a 4K or they just don't want to spend the extra $5.
yeah, I know. What I'm saying
On
is
the
with
4K.
Blu-ray and 4K now. I mean, for a while the VHS and DVD was
Right.
still.
Yeah, we don't know if this is going to be a just DVD. Like, there's a lot of movies I bought where they didn't have Blu-ray and they only had DVD, or the highest they go is Blu-ray and they don't get a 4K. So I don't see this going to.
I mean, even nowadays, not every movie gets a 4K.
No, like well, that's what I'm trying to say. Finest Kind only had a DVD release, no Blu-ray, only DVD. So that was that fishy movie with Tommy Lee Jones, Jenna Ortega. It was actually underrated. But with this, I don't see it going higher than Blu-ray. I don't see it getting a 4K release. I see it getting DVD, maybe Blu-ray, but that's it. And I'll get it because it's Final Girls. I'll show you that. That was really good too. That's a summer slasher as well. It's just a different premise, but it's more comedy than horror. This had some good horror elements to it. It makes you feel like someone's watching you. Like when you're watching the film, you feel like someone's watching the counselors. So I like that aspect of it. I thought they did a good enough of job with the kills they did show. And like I said, it wasn't anything that's going to make me say, oh my God, I have to have a sequel right
No.
now. It's one of those, if this is a one-off, it's good enough for a one-off.
I mean, okay, looking at Finn. Great piece starting out.
For a first movie, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he's acted before, but actually being behind the camera.
And helping come up with the story.
It was a pretty good movie.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll say I liked it. I mean, it's not something I'll watch all the time, but maybe once a year in the summer, or every 2 years, I'll watch it here and there. I'll show other friends it.
Yeah.
Because to see what their thoughts
I can
are.
see that.
It was good enough. It was a good indie film. I don't enjoy it as much as Abigail. But that's a different kind of horror film. And that's why I like their different, even within slashers, they're kind of subgenres. You have camp slashers. You have, a town slasher like Michael Myers where he's like tearing up a town. You have different sorts of slashers. Scream, whodunit slasher.
I love the whodunits, trying to figure out who the killer is.
And there was elements to this. Hard Eyes did a better job with it, I think. We'll get to that sometime. But yeah, I enjoyed it. You enjoyed it.
I know we didn't go off on any of our normal tangents, but we're sort of on a clock at the moment. I got to be at work in a little bit.
Yeah. So, guys, I will say this. This is one of those films that I think is going to be missed. Some people aren't going to know about it because it is a smaller movie. I just heard about it. Oh, I saw a trailer for it in a movie I went to see recently. That's how what was the name? Hold on. The last film I went and saw, Death of a Unicorn. They played this trailer for Death of a Unicorn.
Okay.
So yeah, good film. We hope you guys are well. We will be doing more content soon. His collection, my collection, is going to be coming this summer at some point.
At some point, due to schedules and all that, we keep pushing it back.
Because we just have a hard time getting organized, and when we do get together, we end up doing other stuff. So we will be getting to you soon, and we will also be doing a zoo outing, and we will hopefully not be banned from the zoo after we go.
Yep.
So that's our plan. And stay weird, you fellow trick-or-treaters, and get some candy. If you show up to my door in July, I'll go buy some candy for you. So, yeah, there's that. Well, this has been another trick-or-treat video. Thank you.
Bye.